Warning, if you have type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, or insulin resistance, 19 top diabetes doctors agree a recently discovered rehab technique is proven to reverse your condition, but following most doctors' orders is deadly and will make your diabetes permanent. Please stop what you're doing for the next few minutes to hear every word of this important message, because while research proves it's possible to completely reverse your condition, you must take action today, because research also proves if you delay, the damage to your organs, nerves, and beta cells will become permanent. Sadly, if that happens, you're stuck with type 2 diabetes and all its deadly complications for the rest of your life. Hi, I'm Ron. Most doctors view type 2 diabetes as a death sentence, but you're about to discover why it may be their advice that's deadly. Plus, one unusual rehabilitation technique that completely reverses type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, and insulin resistance in 21 days or less by fixing the two problems that cause type 2 diabetes. It's verified to work by over 19 of the world's top diabetes doctors and over 17 human studies. And here's what someone who watched to the end and acted on what he learned has to say now. Ron, I'm doing really well. My sugar levels are consistently below 140, closer to 100. Thank you for showing me a different way to control my diabetes. Alan W. Stick around and you'll also learn how to drastically reduce or eliminate your glucose-lowering medication, avoid what doctors call double diabetes, and stop the complications these conditions cause by eating a delicious, forbidden food. Now, you may find that hard to believe, but I challenge you to prove me wrong after you see the proof. Recent university and nonprofit research exposes glaring holes in how most doctors treat type 2 diabetes. In fact, one specific blood sugar level directly contributes to the radically high percentage of type 2 diabetics suffering from Alzheimer's, heart disease, kidney failure, nerve damage, blindness, gangrene, stroke, and many other devastating conditions. This blood sugar level turns insulin resistance into prediabetes, prediabetes into type 2 diabetes, and makes type 2 diabetes irreversible. Yet the American Diabetes Association and most medical doctors actually recommend that you target this dangerous level. That's why most medical advice quickly causes permanent damage, so it's crucial that you learn what I've uncovered today, because in the next few minutes, I'll share one simple way to avoid blood sugar toxicity and how you can hold your lab tests in your hands, see the results, and hear your doctor say in a puzzled voice, "You're not diabetic." Believe it or not, if you act on what you learn, you could become healthier than non-diabetics by using this unconventional rehabilitation technique ignored by most medical professionals. You'll soon see how and why many doctors are turning to this to rid their patients of type 2 diabetes. Now, remember, as shocking as it gets, everything you hear is 100% backed by hard medical science. Yet you won't see it on the American Diabetes Association website, and most likely, your doctor doesn't even know it yet. That's because they turn to pharmaceutical companies to research and find answers for them. And Big Pharma won't research this because they can't sell pills, insulin, or blood sugar test kits to healthy people. Yet sure as day follows night, I've uncovered a simple way to take back control of your health, reverse type 2 diabetes, and end toxic blood sugar damage without popping expensive pills that have risky side effects, without shooting high-priced insulin into your flesh, which makes type 2 diabetes worse, without dozens of expensive doctor checkups which deal with the side effects and ignore the underlying cause of your problems, and without giving up your favorite foods, exhausting workouts, or monk-like self-control. Now, pay attention because this is important. Pharmaceutical fat cats stand to make a fortune by keeping you sick and in the dark. They do not want you to see this and will do everything in their considerable power to force me to remove these incriminating facts from the web. I'll do what I can to fight them, just please understand, I'm one man. I don't have the power to defeat multi-billion-dollar companies, so because I can't guarantee this will always be here, please watch now all the way to the end while you still can. Deal? Now, before we get too far, I need to apologize. Here's why. For the last 40 years, type 2 diabetics and prediabetics have been milked like cows by pharmaceutical executives, and you deserve better. So while I don't want to paint a target on my back, I am a former Marine. To me, it's worth any cost to stop greedy corporations from taking advantage of hurting people, so I have no choice but to share what I discovered, because every 136 seconds, someone dies from diabetes. Every 30 seconds, a lower leg is amputated because of diabetes. Diabetics are 200% more likely to suffer Alzheimer's. Diabetics face a 200 to 400% greater risk of heart disease and 1100% greater risk of heart attack. Diabetics are 150% more likely to have a stroke, and most diabetic strokes are fatal. Diabetes is the leading cause of kidney failure and non-birth blindness, and between 60 to to 70% of diabetics suffer painful nerve damage. To put that in perspective, since you started watching, 2 more people with families and loved ones have died. 10 lower legs have been amputated. Many more good people are suffering needlessly, and over 100 million more Americans are headed for the same fate, all because they're being told to target toxic blood sugar levels and force-fed treatments that make their condition worse by an industry that cares more about profits than people. That's why I'm fighting this system, to provide you with the exact rehabilitation you need to reverse type 2 diabetes, not become its next victim. I'll share all the details in a few minutes. First, we need to talk about the real problem you face today so we can find a real solution. Now, most folks are told they must pop pills with dangerous side effects or inject insulin, which makes type 2 diabetes worse. The real problem is the medical industry trusts pharmaceutical research, even though pharmaceutical companies make billions off sick people. It's a classic case of letting the fox guard the henhouse, and the consequences are just as bloody. A research report by 5 doctors titled Death by Medicine revealed 999,936 deaths annually are caused by American medicine. They conclude modern medicine often causes more harm than good and is one of the leading causes of death and injury in the U.S. Noted diabetes expert Dr. Rosedale proves this is true for diabetics, stating the most common treatments for type 2 diabetics should be considered malpractice. As a result of this unhealthy system, you've been fed a pack of lies. One of the worst is that there's no way to reverse type 2 diabetes, yet that's not even close to the truth. In fact, just the opposite is true. Please, if you get nothing else, know this. If caught in time, you can reverse your type 2 diabetes completely, stop the damage, and enjoy better health than someone without your condition. If you're one of the millions suffering because you've been fed these lies, then you must decide right now to believe the truth instead. Because if you don't, you'll suffer needlessly. If you're insulin resistant or pre-diabetic, you'll progress to type 2 diabetes. If you're already a type 2 diabetic, your condition will become permanent. You'll suffer the painful complications you've been told to expect, and statistically, even with the best medicines, die 10 years before your time. Listen, this is not what I want for you. I know it's not what you want for yourself, and you need to know it's not your fault. If you want to blame someone, blame the pharmaceutical fat cats who make billions off the sick. Their lust for money drives them to conduct deceptive research and to conceal the real answers discovered by universities and nonprofits. They don't care that real people suffer from their cutthroat practices as long as they get paid. Think about it. Pharmaceutical companies are for-profit businesses run by boards of directors. These directors have a fiduciary obligation to increase shareholder value, meaning they get fired if they don't make profit their number one priority. So when the board discusses where to invest, they can focus on curing diabetes and lose a customer, or they can create chemicals that only treat your symptoms, then sell you a dose every day for the rest of your life. Which one do you think they choose? With over $300 billion diabetic dollars up for grabs each year, you can count on one fact. Some will do anything to get their cut, but they can't admit it openly, so they hide behind deceptive research. One of the biggest cons they ever pulled is UKPDS. UKPDS stands for United Kingdom Prospective Diabetes Study, and even though pharmaceutical companies paid for it, it's the single most respected study of diabetes in the medical field. Medscape published a talk with noted diabetes expert Dr. Roy Taylor, MD, professor of medicine at Newcastle University. In it, he openly complains that UKPDS leads doctors to believe even good blood sugar control won't stop you from getting worse year after year. Dr. Taylor says UKPDS leads MDs to have the attitude, do the best you can, we'll help you with drugs, but you'll go downhill anyways. On the surface, UKPDS looks like good research, but it's a classic case of garbage in, garbage out. All the conclusions hinge on the meaning given to the words good blood sugar control. In UKPDS terms, good control is an A1C of 7, which works out to an average blood sugar level of 154. Write that number down and remember, your doctor probably accepts it as a good target, because dozens of university and nonprofit medical studies prove that even brief periods above 140 lead directly to Alzheimer's, heart disease, kidney failure, nerve damage, blindness, gangrene, stroke, and permanent beta cell death. In fact, many of the problems begin at pre-diabetic levels. And by using the A1C, UKPDS ignores the toxic highs well over 154 sustained for hours after most meals, which you'll soon see is a fatal flaw. Besides which, even if blood sugar remained at the good control level, you'd still be in serious jeopardy because it's over 140. Here's why. Beta cells in your pancreas produce the insulin that lowers your blood sugar. Their dysfunction is one of the 2 primary causes of type 2 diabetes. I'll share the other in a sec. When beta cells die, your body produces less insulin, so blood sugar levels rise higher, causing further damage in a vicious cycle. Eventually, if all your beta cells die, you no longer produce any insulin, and you become a type 1 diabetic, or a double diabetic if you're already a type 2, which is a permanent condition. Research by scientist A. Gastardelli found beta cell damage occurs at blood sugar levels above 100 and quickly grows worse as levels increase. This was confirmed by research in diabetes journals revealing that levels above 140 kill 40% of beta cells on average, and further confirmed in a series of studies in the American Journal of Endocrinology and Metabolism. Now, the research showed your beta cells can recover up to a point, but eventually the damage becomes permanent, making your diabetes irreversible. More about how to stop this in a minute. Now, as if that's not enough, the UKPDS good level also leads to most of the deadly conditions diabetics suffer. Neurologists at the University of Utah found patients with blood sugar above 140 often suffer nerve pain. Neurologists at Johns Hopkins confirmed levels above 140 cause damage to small nerve fibers, while levels above 200 damage large nerve fibers. Again, the results were confirmed by the Mayo Clinic, and again by the Monica study, where levels over 140 were 554% more likely to cause nerve damage. Yet another study in diabetes care showed that blood sugar levels within the accepted good range also increase heart disease. The study scientist stated blood sugar levels over 154 could be considered a new marker for cardiovascular risk. These conclusions were confirmed by the Epic Norfolk study and again by a study published in the Archives of Internal Medicine, where the study doctors conclude elevated A1C is an independent risk factor for coronary heart disease. Further research in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism proved these toxic blood sugar levels lead to artery thickening. Still more research in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that A1C levels above 6.4 double the risk of losing heart muscle. But the risks don't stop there. UKPDS good levels increase your risk of Alzheimer's disease. Research in the peer-reviewed Journal of Neurology proved that these elevated levels double your risk of Alzheimer's and increase your risk of other types of dementia by 175%. More research published in Diabetologia stated uncontrolled diabetes is associated with increased risk of dementia, which might be alleviated by effective control of blood glucose. Another study in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found an increase in HbA1c over time is associated with cognitive decline, and glucose control may affect cognitive performance, perhaps enabling preventive measures against dementia. Dr. Tim Cook states that even at this safe level, your risk of getting Alzheimer's disease is nearly twice that of someone with the healthiest HbA1c. And if that's not bad enough, UKPDS good blood sugar levels also lead to blindness. A study by Tien-Y Wong shows that more than 60% of diabetic blindness occurs at levels below 126. And yet another study in diabetes care found the steepest increase in blindness occurs among individuals with A1C equal to or greater than 5.5. As if that weren't bad enough, a 10-year Swedish study of 64,597 people found a very strong increase in the risk of cancer with fasting blood sugars over 110. And Harvard Medical School Cancer Center published an urgent warning that as much as 80% of all cancer is caused by high blood sugar. Still further research in the Archives of Internal Medicine found that A1C levels above 6 seriously increase your risk of chronic kidney disease, and another study in Diabetologia uncovered that for every 18-point increase in blood sugar levels, the risk of death by stroke rises by 27%. Look, I could go on and list study after study showing blood sugar levels well below UKPDS good levels are directly linked to Alzheimer's, heart disease, blindness, cancer, kidney failure, stroke, artery thickening, heart attack, permanent beta cell death, and the list just keeps growing. But the fact remains, UKPDS, if your doctor accepts it, has you targeting blood sugar levels guaranteed to produce a slow decline to death. Which begs the question, will you follow the other lemmings to certain death? That seems foolhardy. So let's talk about how you blaze your own trail and fix things yourself, now that you know what the real problem is and why you can't count on pharmaceutical medicine to solve it for you. The most important thing you can do to reverse type 2 diabetes and pre-diabetic conditions, stop your condition from becoming permanent, and avoid further health problems is a process called insulin function rehabilitation. You absolutely must do this to avoid beta cell death, which makes type 2 diabetes permanent, and to reverse insulin resistance, the primary cause of type 2 diabetes. When you do, you'll also escape the health problems we just discussed, and you could become healthier than those without your condition. Now, I found a reliable, natural system to accomplish insulin function rehabilitation without pills, injections, or the snake oils sold everywhere nowadays. I'll share it with you right now, starting with what you absolutely, positively must avoid and why. If you want to reverse your diabetes and miss all the health problems I shared, you've got to avoid large blood sugar spikes after meals. Not with medicine or insulin, because because they make your problems worse, as I explained at the end of this presentation, but by eating the right foods. Why? Well, for starters, you avoid that long list of problems caused by blood sugar levels above 140, and by keeping your blood sugar low after meals, you won't kill off your beta cells, making your diabetes irreversible. A study conducted by the University of Washington was published in the peer-reviewed American Journal of Physiology, Endocrinology, and Metabolism, concluding that the shorter the period of antecedent glucose toxicity, the more likely that full recovery of beta cell function will occur. In plain English, that means the less your blood sugar rises and the shorter the time it stays up after meals, the better your chance of restoring proper beta cell function. But the study proved continued exposure to toxic blood sugar highs eventually causes permanent beta cell death, and the doctors can't say how long that takes. That's why you should make this a priority today, because if all you do is avoid blood sugar spikes after meals, you immediately reduce your risk of making type 2 diabetes irreversible, avoid the major health problems we just discussed, and according to the 6-year Kumamoto study where patients avoided post-meal spikes, your health improves. Imagine for a second how that feels. Your doctor hands you your latest test results with a puzzled expression saying, "I guess we can cancel your prescriptions because you're not diabetic anymore. Your blood sugar is stable, without pills or needle pricks. You feel great. Your loved ones are proud of you for beating diabetes, and this can be your reality in the next 21 days if you do exactly as I say." Now, the best part is that you'll feast like a king or queen on your favorite foods to reverse your diabetes and achieve the best health of your life. Say goodbye to gross, cardboard, low-fat diet foods because they're the exact opposite of what you should eat. Bacon, butter, avocados, and other delicious fat-rich foods you've been told to avoid actually lower blood sugar spikes after meals, as this chart shows. A study published in the peer-reviewed Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism compared a low-fat diet to a high-fat diet and found a high-fat diet is vastly superior for reducing post-meal blood sugar spikes. And remember, avoiding post-meal spikes is key to restoring beta cell function and avoiding permanent diabetes. Plus, research from over 20 human studies proves feasting on these delicious forbidden foods will improve your health rapidly and dramatically. Walk with me for a second and see how that looks. Your day starts with the sizzle and scent of real bacon frying, welcoming your taste buds to a new day with an explosion of flavor. For lunch, it's shrimp sautéed in real butter. The mouth-watering scent of butter-sautéed garlic, onions, and mushrooms fills your home at dinner, and at every meal, you feast on flavor-rich foods that melt in your mouth. Your friends ask, "How'd you lose weight so fast?" You still love the look on your doctor's face when he says, "Your diabetes is gone. You use the money you used to waste on prescriptions to shop for new clothes because your old ones are too big." And this can be your reality in the next 21 days if you do everything I share next. Now, here's the most important thing of all. It's how you actually reverse type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, or insulin resistance. If you don't do this, nothing else matters. It's what I told you about earlier. Insulin function rehabilitation. Insulin function rehabilitation works by fixing both causes of type 2 diabetes, beta cell dysfunction and insulin resistance. It does this by providing a vacation for your beta cells so they rest, recover, and come back strong, and sensitivity training for your insulin receptors so they stop ignoring insulin and let it do its job. This protocol is so powerful, you need to be prepared to adjust your medication under your doctor's supervision. Now, you want to do this because it's scientifically proven in the worst case to radically improve type 2 diabetes, and if you begin before all of your beta cells die, to fully reverse type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, and insulin resistance. A study of this type of intervention was conducted by 6 doctors, including noted diabetes expert Dr. Roy Taylor at the highly respected Newcastle University in the UK. After achieving a 100% success rate of reversing type 2 diabetes, the doctors concluded normalization of both beta cell function and hepatic insulin sensitivity in type 2 diabetes was achieved. The abnormalities underlying type 2 diabetes are reversible. Another study in Diabetes Journal shows why this works. Type 2 diabetics continue to generate new beta cells like normal, but death of beta cells is unusually high, as we've already discussed. So, when you stop killing them with toxic blood sugar highs, the new beta cells can finally survive and do their job. Another study of this type of intervention in the peer-reviewed journal Diabetes Medicine states individuals can reverse type 2 diabetes. Lead researcher Christian Roberts of the University of California said, "The study shows, contrary to common belief, that type 2 diabetes can be reversed solely through lifestyle changes." In another study of type 2 diabetics using this method in the peer-reviewed Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism, 95.2% reduced or eliminated their glucose-lowering medication within 6 months. The study doctors concluded this intervention is effective for improving and reversing type 2 diabetes. According to Dr. Eric Westman, Associate Professor of Medicine at Duke University and a practicing physician at Duke Lifestyle Medicine Clinic, this method has such a dramatic impact on blood sugar levels, he must reduce his patient's insulin by 50% on the first day of starting. And Dr. Sarah Hallberg, in addition to proving this process reverses type 2 diabetes, found her average patient saves over $2,000 a year on prescriptions alone. Just imagine what you can do with that extra $2,000 a year. Another study in the peer-reviewed Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism used this method to reduce patients' A1C by 1.2% in 16 weeks, even though they reduced or eliminated medication. And a study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that not only was the process highly effective at reversing type 2 diabetes, when compared to traditional therapies, it also significantly improves insulin sensitivity as shown in red, and leads to major weight loss as this chart shows. A study in the peer-reviewed Journal of Nutrition presents 12 reasons why this type of process is best for type 1 and type 2 diabetics, stating it shows the greatest reduction in postprandial, that's after a meal, and overall glucose concentrations as well as A1C, as this graph demonstrates. The landmark study found that this technique improved insulin sensitivity by 75% and reduced A1C by half a percentage point in just the first 2 weeks. And Dr. Adia used this intervention for 10 years to improve all of his biomarkers, increasing insulin sensitivity by over 400%, as this chart shows. Look, I could go on to list at least 10 more short and long-term studies in which this process reversed diabetes, radically improved glucose levels, reduced or eliminated drugs and insulin, and reduced risk of diabetic complications. Plus, another study in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism, among others, proves this method lowers your blood pressure as well. You'll lose significant body fat and your risk of worsening health is greatly reduced. You'll feel better than you have in years and have more energy. But the key thing to remember is this warning from a study in Diabetologia, where the researchers conclude that the underlying causes of type 2 diabetes are reversible initially but eventually become permanent. Now, insulin function rehabilitation is a multi-step process, but the majority of results come by switching to a diet rich in healthy fats, eliminating bad carbs, and eating just enough of the right proteins and no extra. Remember, once you do this, the research I just listed and more proves you can reverse your type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, or insulin resistance. You avoid damage from toxic blood sugar levels and lose weight fast while lowering your blood pressure. Can you picture how that feels for a second? You hand your lab tests to your best friend and hug because you're no longer diabetic. You love sharing how you beat diabetes with other type 2s. You feast like a sultan. You're back in control of your health, losing weight, gaining back energy, feeling decades younger. Other people can't help but notice, and this can all start in the next 21 days if you act on what I'm about to reveal. Now, I know that was a lot to cover, and you may have information overload right now. At this point, you basically have two choices. One, you can try to figure out insulin function rehabilitation on your own, and you may see some results. Or two, you can make the smart choice, take the easier path, and take advantage of all my hard work creating Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed. Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed tells you exactly what to do to reverse type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, or insulin resistance, stop diabetic decay, lower blood pressure, and restore health by feasting on your favorite foods. According to 20 human studies and counting, the process revealed inside is proven to reverse type 2 diabetes, lead to massive fat loss in weeks, eliminate hunger cravings, burn the most dangerous body fat, dramatically lower triglycerides, lower blood pressure, improve brain function, increase good cholesterol, and lower bad cholesterol, and this will stop the damage to your body and improve your health even if you've been told you must live with diabetes for the rest of your life. You refuse to eat foods you don't like. Your doctor expects more health problems. You've tried to eat healthy and still have problems. Your blood sugar is completely out of control. You have a family history of diabetes, and even if you've tried everything you can think of and failed. Now, in order to understand what Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed is, it helps if you first understand what it's not. Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed is not a dangerous drug with side effects worse than diabetes. Painful insulin injections that researchers now know make your diabetes worse. Magic pills that let you eat candy all day. A radical diet that requires monk-like self-denial, or any of that mess. Unlike all that, this system is based on two simple facts. When you let your beta cells recover and restore insulin sensitivity, your type 2 diabetes can be reversed. And when you maintain healthy blood sugar levels, your risk of health problems gets cut to the bone. Now,
Now, like I said, you could try to figure this out on your own. It's not easy. Plus, there's no need since I've already done the work for you. So let me be frank with you. If you're more interested in following the crowd, even when the crowd is walking off a cliff by targeting toxic blood sugar levels, then leave this page right now. Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed is not for you. But if you're ready to stop feeling like a diabetes victim, if you want to feel better so you enjoy life and possess hope for your future, if you want to eliminate hunger cravings, quickly lose body fat, and dramatically lower triglyceride levels, if you want more good cholesterol, less bad cholesterol, lower blood pressure, a sharper mind, and bottom line, if you want to reverse your type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, or insulin resistance, then Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed is the only solution for you. Now, let's take a look at what you get when you claim Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed and how you can start taking your health back today. To discover the secrets in Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed, I spent thousands of hours over the last decade studying medical research. I interviewed some of the most respected diet gurus, medical doctors, research scientists, naturopathic physicians, chiropractors, and nutritionists across the globe. Then, I combined everything in the Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed, a simple 40-page guide that condenses everything I learned into a 30-minute read. No fluff and no BS. Just the raw information and systems you need to reverse your type 2 diabetes in the next 21 days and stop the ravages of toxic blood sugar highs. Here's just a little of what you'll discover inside. A complete paint-by-the-numbers, step-by-step guide to insulin function rehabilitation. The number one worst type of food for diabetics. A complete list to avoid. Why artificial insulin injections actually make type 2 diabetes worse. The leptin secret. How to use this little-known hormone to restore insulin sensitivity and completely eliminate hunger cravings. The delicious food demonized by the diet industry who make money keeping us fat. That provides you with 10 times more energy than diet foods while forcing your cells to burn body fat and increasing nutrient absorption. A long list of delicious foods you can enjoy guilt-free. One unusual trick for getting your liver to reduce blood sugar so your beta cells can rest and recover. The simple test that instantly tells you whether or not you should eat a particular food. Use this when you aren't 100% sure what to eat. One movement that drastically increases insulin sensitivity. Hint, it's so easy, my 90-year-old grandmother does it every day. The truth about food and your hormones. This is the real reason you can't lose body fat. Hint, one hormone makes fat loss impossible. The one type of fat you absolutely must avoid because it makes insulin resistance worse. Why calories are the last thing you should count and what to track instead. It's much easier. How to quickly break your deadly addiction to bad foods. The secret to selecting the right proteins so your liver doesn't convert them to glucose through gluconeogenesis. Delicious, healthy treats that leave you so satisfied you won't want more food. Exactly which carbs you can eat, which to avoid, and when to eat them. One simple step to take when you want to eat a sugary snack so that it won't destroy your progress. 4 food chemicals you absolutely must avoid at all costs. How to instantly know if any foods produce toxic effects and what to do if they are. How to shop smart so you eat healthy without blowing your budget. Why doing one of the most pleasant things in life actually supercharges your weight loss, balances your hormones, and leaves you feeling like a new person. How to accelerate your results by eating the right foods at the right times. The 2 types of hunger and how to deal with both. How to blast through sticking points and keep melting body fat. What to do today to start with a bang and give yourself the best shot at success, and much more. Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed is a complete system with all the information and tools you need to reverse type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, or insulin resistance. And where others expect you to make radical changes, inside you'll find options. There's a fast track for rapid results and a gradual approach that has you making small changes over time. The choice is yours because both plans are laid out for you to follow. When you put the insulin function rehabilitation process inside Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed to work for you, your beta cells will regenerate and survive in a non-toxic environment. The delicious foods you eat will restore cellular insulin sensitivity so you can finally forget about popping pills that make you sick to your stomach while adding fat to your frame. You'll finally free yourself from irritating insulin injections and painful finger pricks, the fear of dying 10 years too soon, waiting for your vision to fail and leave you blind for life, and the dread of losing your legs will be things of the past. The painful sting of neuropathy will disappear. You'll never feel like a burden to your loved ones again, and you won't be tethered to a blood sugar test kit or be forced to watch with envy while others enjoy your favorite foods. Sold by itself, Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed is normally $97, but because you watched this far, you won't pay near that price, even though you're not just getting Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed today. When you claim Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed today, you'll also receive the following value-added bonuses free. Because I know that life goes on, I've included a guilt-free dining out guide, a $17 value, the only resource you need to stick with your plan when dining out with friends. Inside, you'll find the hidden ingredients many restaurants use that sabotage your efforts and how to choose wisely from any menu. And look, I know everybody is different, so even though you shouldn't feel hunger while following the program, I've included a 11 natural appetite suppressants that actually work, just in case. A $27 value. If you experience unhealthy cravings, just open this up and explore your options for naturally eliminating hunger. Many of the natural appetite suppressants have extra health benefits in addition to being tasty. And to make your trips to the store even easier, you'll also receive the Blood Sugar Shopping Guide, a $17 value. A lot of food manufacturers know that slapping a health food label on a product is a great way to jack up the price, but many are straight up scams, and a few are the exact opposite of what you should put in your body. Inside this easy-to-use shopping guide, you'll find what you should be buying. Hint, they're all super affordable, and where to find some of the more unique items at great prices. Now, any one of these bonuses could easily be sold from $17 to $27, bringing the grand total value you receive up to $205. And of course, you could continue to do the things you've been doing and spend 100, 500, even 1,000 times the reduced price of Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed in the future on medical bills, prescriptions, and emergency surgeries. In fact, the average diabetic spends over $13,000 a year on health problems, according to the American Diabetes Association, and over $100,000 for a lifetime of treatments that don't even save you from suffering. That's money that could be spent on vacations, vehicles, houses, or really anything else your heart desires. And even with that huge price tag, you'll continue to suffer the results that made you watch this far in the first place. Yet, that's not what I want for you. And I feel it's important for you to know why I'm giving you such a big discount today. If you're wondering, why is it so cheap? What's the catch? Then allow me to share my mission with you. It's a cause I'm inviting you to join to restore the health that is your birthright. Above all, the mission is to share the life-changing knowledge inside Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed with 1 million type 2 diabetics by 2017. Because there isn't one single source where you can get all of this life-saving information in one place. Trust me, I looked. And again, making a difference is much more important to me than making a huge profit. All I ask is that after you claim Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed, you share this website with as many friends as possible so that we get this life-saving information to as many people as possible. And because in today's economy, a lot of folks are looking for ways to save, and I want to make sure that price is not a problem for anyone who needs this, you won't pay $178 or even $97. Your total investment today is only one payment of $27. That's $70 off the regular price. Listen, don't decide now. Take advantage of the Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed 60-day, 100% money-back triple guarantee. If you use the system and don't see a dramatic improvement in your test results or in the way you feel, if you don't feel like you received 50 times the value you invested here today, or if you just don't like the font that I use, simply send one email and your full investment will be promptly and courteously returned. No questions asked. So, if you want to try Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed out risk-free, if you want to reverse your type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, or insulin resistance, if you want to feel great, prevent further complications, and regain control of your health, here's what you need to do right now. Look below this presentation, find the bright orange rectangular button that says Add to Cart. Put your mouse over it, now click it. Then complete the form on the next page to claim Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed for yourself. Here's what a few folks who click that button have to say after completing their order. Ron, I'm doing really well. Your program has gotten me back on track. My sugar levels are consistently below 140, closer to 100. Thanks for the encouragement, and thank you for showing me a different way to control my diabetes. Alan W. It's so refreshing to come across a kind person that truly cares about what they're doing. I can't thank you enough because I really need the help. Thanks again, Ron. Joyce C. My cardiologist was explaining to me last week how sugar raises blood pressure, and everything you sent confirms exactly what he told me. Suzanne L. Plus, if you act before this presentation ends, I'll toss in my Blood Sugar Supplement Secrets Exposed guidebook for free. Inside, you'll discover one all-natural supplement that was tested head-to-head against the top diabetes drugs on the market. In a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled medical research study, it performed just as well as the prescription drugs without any risky side effects. And in another double-blind, placebo-controlled study, this same ingredient was shown to reduce A1C levels from 7.5 to 6.6%. That's a significant improvement and a big step towards optimum levels. This supplement also showed great promise for reducing cholesterol, triglycerides, and overall quality of life. And that was all by itself, not taken in conjunction with the other supplements in the guide. The next supplement was shown in 5 independent, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled medical research studies to increase insulin sensitivity. Plus, this supplement has been shown through research to reduce cholesterol, triglycerides, pain, and blood pressure. And it has strong antioxidant effects, so it fights to rid your body of cancer-causing free radicals. But taken by itself, this supplement is destroyed by liver enzymes. So I show you another supplement that protects it from your liver so it can do its work. When combined together, these and the other supplements in the guide work to accelerate the rate at which you achieve insulin function rehabilitation while also lowering blood pressure. Now, this one-of-a-kind super bonus is easily worth $37 all by itself, and that brings your total value to over $242. But if you click the button before this presentation ends, you can get it for free when you claim Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed for yourself. And remember, you're not just getting a great bargain here today. You're joining a movement to improve the health of the world. The instant you click that Add to Cart button, you'll be taken to a page that looks like this. This is a 100% secure, encrypted order form, so your private information is safe. Once you complete your personal information, click the button at the bottom of the page to claim Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed. After you order, you can select any programs you prefer to guarantee even faster results. It's that easy. Now remember, if you're following traditional medical advice, you've been targeting major problems. And if you continue to let the medical industry chew you up and spit you out, you can expect more of the same. After all, even Einstein agrees the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So if you keep targeting toxic blood sugar levels, you can expect major health problems and to stay diabetic for the rest of your life. Yet you can change everything the instant you put Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed to work in your life. Just picture the moment that happens. You feel better day by day. Your test results prove your diabetes is gone and you feel like your old self again. And that can all start in the next 21 days if you click that button now. Because before today, you were a victim of believing pharmaceutical company lies. Yet right now marks the moment when you became aware of the truth and now you know what it really takes to reverse type 2 diabetes. So now you are responsible for choosing what you do with this information. You must either click the button and begin your Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed success story or continue down the path you were on. If you continue to accept the medical industry definition of good blood sugar control, you know what to expect. The science proves your beta cells will die and your diabetes will become permanent. You should expect Alzheimer's, heart disease, kidney failure, nerve damage, blindness, gangrene, stroke, and other major health problems. But 20 human studies and counting have shown that the process revealed inside Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed is proven to reverse type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, or insulin resistance if you begin in time, or in the worst case, radically improve it. To lower your blood pressure, improve your brain function, lead to massive, rapid fat loss, burn the most dangerous body fat, visceral belly fat, dramatically lower triglyceride levels, increase good cholesterol and lower bad cholesterol, eliminate hunger cravings, and reduce your risk of major health problems. That's a lot better than the disease toxic blood sugar highs guarantee. And with the Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed 60-day, 100% money-back triple guarantee, you have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. Plus, you're always minutes away from help with the support desk, and a surprise free gift that makes it ultra easy to implement the system is on its way to you the moment you complete your order. So it only makes sense to grab Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed for yourself right now. Look below this presentation, find the bright orange rectangular button that says Add to Cart, put your mouse over it, and click to claim Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed for yourself and reverse your diabetes. Now, within 15 minutes of completing your order, you'll receive an email with the subject line, "Thanks, Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed." That email contains instructions on how to access Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed. The instant that email arrives, rush over and read through the program and follow the instructions for day one. There's no reason to wait to start improving your health. If you're like most folks, you'll feel like you have more energy on the first day with the program than you have in years. That's your body responding to your improved blood sugar levels. Within your first week, you'll begin to look forward to each delicious meal and wake up feeling more rested and refreshed than any time you can remember. This week, as you test your blood sugar, you'll find your numbers edging closer to where they should be. Week 2 with Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed, you'll find you need less and less insulin to maintain ideal blood sugar levels. You may feel like the days are longer than usual because you're getting more done. Fact is though, you're just so used to being tired all the time, you can get way more done because your energy levels are high all day long. By the end of week 2, your symptoms, especially the annoying sting of neuropathy, should start to disappear for good. The next month with Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed, we'll see your beta cells start to recover and your cells will respond to insulin like they should again. Your blood sugar will return to levels you haven't seen since you were diagnosed. Your doctor will probably pull you off your medications and insulin, and you'll experience the pleasure of seeing the confused look on his face when he says, "Your diabetes is gone." If you click that button below now, in less than 1 month, you could be back to a normal life without ever having to live in fear of diabetes-related health complications or dying 10 years before your time. You'll do more for your health in the next 3 weeks than the medical system has done in the last decade. So go ahead and click that big orange button now. Don't wait 1 second longer. If you delay, you may miss out on the reduced price and come back later to find that the temporary discount has been removed and the price is higher than it is right now. In fact, if you reach the order form and it lists the price at $87 or $97, it means you've already missed out. But beyond that, you'll have continued down an unhealthy path for longer than you need to, possibly causing permanent beta cell death, making your diabetes irreversible. You'll have missed the chance to feel better and really be better, because what area of your life won't be improved by better health? Plus, the risk of doing nothing far outweighed the minimal investment of doing something. Remember, at some point, high blood sugar creates permanent damage that can't be undone. But caught in time, much of the damage may be prevented and your type 2 diabetes can be reversed. So the choice is fairly simple. Choice 1 is to continue without Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed. If you make that choice, you face the scientifically proven risk of permanent beta cell death, kidney failure, heart disease, blindness, gangrene, stroke, Alzheimer's, osteoporosis, hearing loss, nerve damage, and a growing list of other major health problems, including death. Remember, every 136 seconds, someone dies from diabetic complications. So far too many good diabetics have breathed their last since you first began watching this information. And I'm sure all of them thought at one point that they'd get things under control later. That later turned into next week, then next month, and today it became too late. None of us want that for you, or for your diabetes to become permanent. None of us want you to spend your last years broke because you spent every dime of your money on medications that don't work, a burden to those you love most, or suffering the slow decline to death modern medicine provides for its patients. None of us want to see your loved ones sitting at your funeral, weeping because you died 10 years before your time, especially when they could have shared your joy at beating diabetes and spent many more healthy, vibrant years with you. Years when you can be there for those you love the most. Don't your loved ones deserve your best? So this option isn't really a choice at all. The second option is to try and achieve insulin function rehabilitation on your own without the aid of Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed. If you choose this path, you have hundreds of hours at least of work cut out for you, sifting the good advice from the bad. You'll find, like I did, that good sources for this information are few and far between. In the end, you'll probably find yourself back on this page grabbing your copy of Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed, probably at a higher price. And in the meantime, you may kill all of your beta cells and cause serious damage to your health by following bad advice. This isn't really a good choice either, and I can guarantee that if you wait until your leg is amputated or until you're sick and dying, that you won't wish you'd saved a few measly bucks today, but you will wish you would take an action to reverse your diabetes right now, which leaves the only other real choice, which is to try out Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed 100% risk-free. With Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed, you have a proven system to reverse type 2 diabetes, stop future health problems, and enjoy excellent health. Seems like the better choice to me, especially since there's no good reason to wait because the price is very reasonable and affordable, and what little you do invest is backed by a 60-day, 100% money-back triple guarantee. So my recommendation is simple. Don't gamble with your health. Let's make sure that you avoid unnecessary pain by clicking that button right now. Because if you start today, then in 1 month from today, you could be free to live life without ever worrying about a diabetes-related early death or amputation again. Here's what I want you to do right now. Look below this sentence, find the bright orange rectangular button below that says Add to Cart, put your mouse over it, and click it to claim Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed now. Still there? If you're still around at this point, it's probably because you have some questions you need answered. So, the following are answers to the most common questions that may help you make the right choice today. Question 1 is, can't I just use insulin injections to achieve the same effect as insulin function rehabilitation? That's a really good question, and I wish you could, because then millions of diabetics wouldn't be headed for major problems. But, unfortunately, the answer is no. Here's why. Type 2 diabetes is a health problem with its roots in insulin resistance. Scientists now know that insulin resistance is caused because your body is producing too much insulin. Not only does this exhaust your beta cells, insulin is an inflammatory hormone. So when your body is constantly exposed to huge doses of it for years on end, your cells simply stop responding to it. It's a lot like the way your nose stops responding to an irritating bad smell after you get used to it. So by injecting loads of extra insulin into your body, which already produces too much, you actually make your insulin resistance worse. Diabetes expert Dr. Rosedale says that this insulin overexposure is the reason why many type 1 diabetics are now developing type 2 diabetes on top of their original condition. Dr. Rosedale puts it well when he says, type 2 diabetes is brought on by constantly having too much insulin and leptin. Giving these diabetics more insulin is adding gasoline to the fire. Doctors couldn't be doing more harm if they tried. But Dr. Rosedale doesn't stop there. He's also said, type 2 diabetes is often considered to be a model of accelerated aging because of the high insulin. In other words, treating diabetics by overly raising insulin, either with drugs or insulin itself, is only further accelerating their aging, associated chronic diseases, and death, and should be considered malpractice. So insulin injections cannot fix the real problem type 2 diabetics face. Only insulin function rehabilitation can give your beta cells the rest they need while reducing insulin levels naturally and restoring insulin sensitivity, all at the same time. And that leads right into our next question. Question 2. Why can't I just use diabetes medicines to manage my diabetes? This goes back to the last question, but with with some additional complications. First and foremost, type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, and insulin resistance are nutrition problems, so the only way to fix them is with proper nutrition. With medications, though, you have some serious side effects to deal with. Avandia, for example, increases your risk of having a heart attack by 43% and increases your risk of cardiovascular death by 64%, yet it's prescribed to hundreds of thousands of diabetics today. Other drugs force the beta cells to produce more insulin. This not only tires out these already exhausted cells to the point of death, it also causes the same problems as artificial insulin injections by increasing insulin levels and therefore increasing insulin resistance. And even the drugs that don't force your beta cells into overdrive, in addition to having a long list of dangerous side effects, can push your blood sugar too low. This is called hypoglycemia and can cause immediate death. With insulin function rehabilitation, there is no possibility of hypoglycemia. The only chance of hypoglycemia is if you continue the use of artificial insulin or glucose-lowering medications after you no longer need them. And consider this, as this chart from a 4-year study of 2 of the best demonstrates, even the least harmful diabetes drugs out there, drugs like metformin, Forxiga, and other SGLT2 inhibitors, only work for a limited period of time before they leave you worse off than before you started taking them. In the best case, you can achieve a short-term reduction in A1C levels, but after 4 years or less, you're as bad off or worse than when you first started the drugs. So, the best drugs are better than doing nothing, but your diabetes will still progress, so will your symptoms, and statistically, even with the best drugs, you still die 10 years earlier than normal due to diabetic complications. That sounds a lot like putting a band-aid on a fatal cut to me, and in the meantime, you'll suffer the side effects every prescription comes with. For example, these SGLT2 inhibitors not only cause nausea and weight gain, but they stop your kidneys from reabsorbing glucose back into the bloodstream, so your urine is full of glucose, which often leads to bacteria, fungal, and yeast urinary tract infections because those infections thrive in sugary urine. So even in the best case, these drugs are nowhere near as effective as insulin function rehabilitation, and they come with terrible side effects. So if you're tired of getting jerked around by pharmaceutical medicine, here's what I want you to do right now. Look below this presentation, find the bright orange rectangular button that says Add to Cart, put your mouse over it, and click to claim Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed now. Okay, question number 3 is, how soon can I stop my medication or insulin injections? Look, I understand your eagerness, especially now that you know the truth about these common treatments, but I don't recommend that you just cut off all your meds cold turkey. Instead, just follow the program, monitor your blood sugar levels, and get in to see your doctor as soon as possible. Not only does your doctor understand your entire health history, so he or she can keep you safe, they can also monitor your progress and interpret your test results for you. Then, in as little as 3 weeks, possibly a little longer, your physician will be happy to cancel your prescriptions because your diabetes is gone. Now, question number 4 is a common one. I've heard starvation can reverse type 2 diabetes. Will I have to suffer through hunger pains to reverse my diabetes with insulin function rehabilitation? No. Starvation may be great for all sorts of things, but it just isn't a realistic option for anything. And it's not necessary to reverse your diabetes. In fact, one of the little-known secrets of insulin function rehabilitation is that you will never, ever feel hunger. Ever. Why? Because this way of eating not only restores insulin sensitivity, it also restores leptin sensitivity. Leptin is a little-known hormone produced by your body fat that helps your cells be more receptive to insulin, so less blood sugar is stored as fat. It's also the chemical trigger that tells your brain you're full. You see, there are 2 ways you feel full. One is when your stomach is fully stretched out and can hold no more. With this type of fullness, once your stomach empties, usually in about 30 minutes, you feel hungry again as if you hadn't eaten at all. The second way is when your brain receives the chemical signal from leptin that you have enough nutrition to stop eating. This full feeling lasts for hours. But according to the latest research by Dr. Rosedale, most type 2 diabetics are both insulin resistant and leptin resistant. What this means is that your brain never receives the signal that you're full. This is why you always feel hungry now, no matter how much you eat. By restoring leptin sensitivity, insulin function rehabilitation will finally leave you feeling full, satisfied, completely satiated. And because leptin also tells your brain it's time to burn body fat, restoring leptin sensitivity also means you'll burn off all that stubborn fat that's plagued you for so long. And that brings us to our next question, which is, how does Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed compare to other programs that claim to reverse diabetes? Look, I applaud anyone who's trying to help diabetics live better lives without dangerous pharmaceuticals. That said, I have a couple of issues with these options. Here's why. First, many of these programs focus entirely on the pancreas and insulin production while ignoring the fact that the root cause of type 2 diabetes is insulin resistance. That's like ignoring half of a math problem and hoping to get it right. The second issue I have is that many of the most popular programs are very hard to follow. In
In fact, one of the most popular is based on the starvation method we just talked about. It uses a 600 calorie a day diet to achieve temporary results. First, most people simply can't make it on a 600 calorie a day diet, so most people never see any results. Of course, they never mention this until after you spend your hard-earned dollars on the program. Plus, 50% of the people who achieve a result through starvation are back to being a type 2 diabetic within 6 months. Why? Because no one can maintain that way of eating for long before they go right back to the old habits that got them in trouble to begin with. Another popular program wants you to become a vegan, never eating animal products again. Now, if this is something you want to do, then by all means do so. But for most people, becoming a vegan is such a radical change that there's simply no way to maintain that kind of lifestyle, even if it did actually work. When conducting the research for Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed, I came across both of these methods and knew instantly that most type 2 diabetics simply couldn't endure this type of radical change. That's why I created the Insulin Function Rehabilitation Protocol, because it can achieve the same type of results as these extreme programs without requiring a metric ton of willpower, without radical changes, and most importantly, by eating your favorite delicious foods. Which leads us to our next frequently asked question. Question 6 is, will I have to eat foods I don't like to achieve insulin function rehabilitation? Again, this is a big fat no. As a matter of fact, it's a rule inside Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed. Never eat any foods you don't like. The reason is simple. Willpower is in limited supply. Every time you force yourself to eat something gross, you use up a little more willpower. Ultimately, you run out, break down, give in, and eat something you shouldn't. But if you only eat the foods that you love, you never have to force yourself to eat anything. Eating becomes a joy again. Plus, there are so many delicious, healthy, fat-rich foods, because fat is where all the flavor is, that you never run out of delicious treats for your mouth and your body. And because fats are so filling, you also never have to worry about eating too much. Just eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full. So if you're ready to reverse your diabetes today by eating as much of your favorite foods as you want, here's what to do now. Look below this sentence, find the bright orange rectangular button that says Add to Cart. Put your mouse over it and click it to claim Blood Sugar Secrets Exposed now. And the final question we'll address here today is really the only one that matters. Does this really work? The short answer is yes. But I have to be completely honest with you. Your body is 100% unique. Your life has also been unique. So there is a chance that your condition is very advanced. Your beta cells may be damaged beyond repair. And in that case, you may not be able to completely reverse your type 2 diabetes through insulin function rehabilitation. But even in the worst case, the process of insulin function rehabilitation will vastly improve your health and dramatically reduce your need for diabetic medication or insulin injections. In fact, this process works very well for type 1 diabetics to reduce or eliminate their need for glucose-lowering medications, even though their beta cells are already dead because their immune system has attacked and killed them. That's because insulin function rehabilitation vastly reduces the need for your body to produce and use insulin by keeping your blood sugar naturally within a healthy range. This also reduces your risk of the deadly diseases I listed earlier in this presentation that scientists now know are caused by blood sugar levels above 140. That said, this is the worst case scenario. The truth is, our bodies are wonderfully tough. They bounce back despite years of rough treatment, so the chances are near 100% that insulin function rehabilitation will reverse your diabetes. And if you're pre-diabetic or insulin resistant, this will reverse your condition. Doctor after doctor is coming around to realize that type 2 diabetes can be reversed. Research study after research study is proving this in clinical trials, and our customers are discovering the truth for themselves every day. Remember, earlier you heard from one customer who has his blood sugar around 100, and another whose doctor confirmed everything I shared in this presentation, and those are just a small sample of our customers' results. Plus, because every penny you invest with me today is backed by a 60-day, 100% money-back triple guarantee, and the system shows results in as little as 21 days, you have zero risk trying it out for yourself today, monitoring your own results, finding out if you really do feel better, look better, and see better test results. All you have to do is give the system a try for a full 21 days straight, and I know that you will see vast improvements. And if I'm wrong and you're not happy, all you have to do is let me or my team know, and you will receive a full refund, no questions asked. And to be honest, you could get a refund even if you do see great results and still use the system to reverse your diabetes. That's because there's no such thing as unlearning this information. Once it's in your head, it's yours for life. So I'm willing to risk a few less than scrupulous people ripping me off in order to get this life-saving information into as many hands as possible. Because make no mistake, lives are at stake here, yours included. So go ahead and give the system a try by clicking that button below and completing your order. It's the only way to find out for sure if this will work for you. If you have any other specific questions that need to be answered before you feel good about joining me, please send an email to support@bloodsugarsecretsexposed.com or give us a a call at the number listed at the top of this page and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Just realize that we're not your personal physicians, so we can't give you personal medical advice. Otherwise, click the bright orange Add to Cart button below and start your success story today.